Oi. One moment I am sending a text, but I am started at one and then everything should be working. Should be working. Ah. Stream. I don't even want to mess with them. I don't even want to text them. Marquee. Okay. Okay, that's all good. Hello, everyone. Well, the normal people who are normally on the stream are not here yet. That's okay. But when people do watch the stream, hello, how are you? Hello, everyone that is going to be watching. Hello, my name is Adam Brazell. I'm the Bible Nutter. What this is very simple. Bible study stream. It's a live stream, so it's just live. I'm just going to read Daniel chapter 9, then we're going to talk about it. Very simple. Nothing, just very simple stuff. Now, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. What else? Okay, now, before we get into the stream, I always like to talk about some stuff. So first of all, how are you? How was your week? Let me know in the chat. That'd be great. Also, hop on Discord. After the Bible study stream, I'll be in Discord. You can join it right now. The link to it is in the chat description. You can join my Discord, and then you can actually talk to me about the stream or really with anything. I'm not picky at the moment. Just talk to me about anything. What else? Oh yeah, so news. As far as my life is concerned, not a whole lot's going on. Just normal everyday life. As far as the world is concerned, I don't actually watch the news. Like, I don't watch TV. But just from what I've heard on some Twitter, some social media, just what I've heard, apparently our border in America is being overrun by illegal aliens, and Texas especially does not like that. They don't like it when their state is being overrun by invaders. And apparently 25 other state governors, Republican state governors, are backing Texas, and the Biden administration is trying to fight against Texas. It looks like a civil war is about to happen to me. That's what it looks like. When 25 states, that's half. There's only 50 states, and 25 of them are backing Texas. I don't know if that's counting Texas. Even if it's not, that's still 25 states. 25 Republican state governors are backing Texas, trying to secure our southern border. Illegal aliens are flooding in, and the whole purpose of this, everyone knows, the Democrats are trying to replace American citizens with illegal aliens to then in the future give them voter amnesty and citizenship, a path to citizenship, so that they'll vote Democrat. The majority of illegal aliens will vote Democrat, and that's the Democrats' plan to flood our country. Actually, compared to other countries, has a small population. America only has like 330 million people. India's got like over a billion. China's got over a billion people in those countries, and they're a lot smaller than the United States. So compared to them, we're a small country. 330 million though. But if the border is flooding millions of people in, all they'd have to do, that they don't even have to flood like the country. They just need to flood Republican states. Like if there's a Republican state that only has like 2 million people in it, I don't know which states have the population. I'm not sure, but I know that some states have smaller populations than others. If the population is 2 million people, and even if 80% of them, how about 90? Let's say 90% of them are Republican. That would be 1.8 million. If a million illegal aliens went to that one state, just a million, which sounds like a lot, a million people, but it's not because millions are flooding into the country. But if a million went to that state, now all of a sudden they would have 1.8 million red votes and 1.2 million blue votes, and it would be a lot closer to 50-50. Now, in some cases, if the illegals overwhelm the state, then it'll turn the state blue. As you know, the elections are usually very, very close. Elections are not really determined by like several points, like percentage points. They're usually determined by like 1 percentage point or half a percentage point. They're very close. So if you're flooding millions of people into a country, it's like a big deal, or a state. It's a big deal. So that's that. That's the current news of the current political climate, as far as I know, is that our southern border is being overrun by illegal aliens, alien invaders. And it does remind me of Bible verses that talk about how when God judges a nation, he says that strangers will eat your bread. That strangers are going to live in your house, and strangers are going to come into your country and take your stuff from before your eyes, and that your children are going to end up working for and serving strangers. Who's a stranger? Well, in the Bible, it was foreign invaders. It's foreign invaders. Like, who are they? Just foreign invaders. Like in America right now, it's kind of the same thing. Foreign invaders. People are invading our country. It's not like families trying to make them a better life for themselves that are the majority. It's single men invading our country. So, uh, and a lot of them are criminal. Well, all of them are criminals. They're coming into the country illegally, but a lot of them are criminals. A lot of them, like, they bring drugs and weapons, and they're like gangs and violence, and they do all sorts of wicked things like rape women and stuff like that. They're criminals and murderers and thieves. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. And also, they're not vaccinated, and they have diseases and stuff. All sorts of stuff. They bring in all sorts of stuff, but how are we supposed to know? Because the whole purpose of having a border in the first place is to keep people out that you don't want here. If someone's coming to this country because they're a murderer and a rapist, and they're just trying to flee to this country to escape persecution in their current country, well, I don't want them to come into my country. If they're a murderer and a rapist, I don't want them here either. So, but you don't know who's coming in because they're flooding into the border illegally. They're just sneaking into our country, and so we have no idea that they're here. That is like someone sneaking into your house, uninvited, unwelcome. It's evil. And so that is that. That is the current political climate. Now then, now that I have talked about okay, so now that that is out of the way, that's pretty much all I got. So now we're going to go on to the Bible study. We're in Daniel chapter 9, the King James Version. And, okay, now then, Alt X. I haven't been doing this, but what I'm gonna do, I will make this smaller just so you guys don't run away. I'll make it, make it so you guys can see it. How's that? I'm doing this. Zoom in more. Okay, that's at 298% zoom in. How about that? Is that good enough? If you're watching, I think that's good enough. Can I increase this by 2 percentage points? Yeah. There, it is 300% zoom in. So you should be able to see that well enough. And Daniel 9, I don't know how long this will take to study this. There's only 4 verses in this chapter that I really want to look at. So what I haven't been doing is putting a summary of the Bible study in the description of YouTube. I'm going to start doing that. That actually seems very appropriate. I always get extremely dry mouth when I do this stuff. Hey, Marky Man, thank you for joining. I'm dying. Hey, something that's interesting. When I had cancer and was doing chemo, I would like be shaking and like puking and stuff. And like on the way to do chemo, back when I was back to normal. So I was back to normal. You do chemo. I was sick for a week, and then the following week I felt good and normal. And then I did chemo treatments bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks. And then so did chemo, sick for a week. The following week I was good, but then I have to go back to do chemo treatment again. On the way to it, I would shake and I would puke just of the thought of what I was about to do to myself again, because chemo is torture. It's nothing short of torture. It is torture. It's torture. It's absolutely torture. But did I mention it was torture? It's torture. And so I would shake and puke and just I don't know if I sweat, but I was just I just the anxiety levels were like through the roof when I was when I went back to do chemo. And the whole reason I'm saying that is because I tried to control it. I tried to not shake and stuff. I tried to not do that because it just made the chemo experience worse. And I knew that, but I couldn't stop. Like even the nurses around me, like I'm telling them, like I don't want to freak out about this because it's just gonna make this worse, but I can't. Like I know this is by worrying about it, it's gonna make it worse, but I can't not, like I physically can't not worry about it. I'm trying not to because I know I wish I couldn't because it's just gonna make this worse. I don't want this to be any worse than it is. Anyway, all that just to say, I get dry mouth when I do these streams, and I wish I didn't. Because I guess I have to be nervous, but I'm not nervous any other time. Okay, so Daniel chapter 9. Um so in Daniel, so man, I think so much stuff, but I say so little. So Daniel chapter 9, the way I've been doing the streams have been different, but I'm going to do something different. I say that every stream. Um there's only just 4 verses. The verse 2 and the last 3 verses 24 to 27 that are the ones that we're really going to talk about it. And so without further ado, I'm just going to read the whole chapter and then we'll go through it again verse by verse. But there's only really 4 chapters that I think we got to look at, or 4 verses. Okay, here we go. Daniel chapter 9, King James version. And I think that is big enough for you guys. If it's not big enough, I could make it bigger. I hope that's big enough for you guys to see it. Daniel 9. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, of the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by the books of the number of years, whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 weeks in the desolations of Jerusalem. And I set my face unto the Lord to seek by prayer and supplication with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. And I prayed unto the Lord my God, and made confession, and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him, and to them that keep his commandments. We have sinned, and committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even departing from thy precepts. and from thy judgments. Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces as at this day. To the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. To the Lord our God belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God, to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, all Israel transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil is come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth. Therefore hath the Lord watched upon the evil, and brought it upon us. For the Lord our God is righteous in all his works which he doeth, for we obeyeth not his voice. And now, O Lord our God, thou hast brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and hast gotten thee renown, as at this day. We have sinned, we have done wickedly. O Lord, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thine fury be turned away from thy city Jerusalem, thy holy mountain. Because for our sins and for the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and thy people are become a reproach to all that are about us. Now therefore, O our God, hear the prayer of thy servants and his supplications, and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary that is desolate, for the Lord's sake. O my God, incline thine ear and hear, open thine eyes and behold our desolations, and the city which is called by thy name. For we do not present our supplications before thee for our righteousness, but for thy great mercies. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not for thine own sake. O my God, for thy city and thy people are called by thy name. And whiles I was speaking and praying and confessing my sin, and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God, yea, whiles I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. At the beginning of thy supplication, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgression, and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with the flood. And unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Absolutely amazing. I got teary-eyed reading the prayer. So now I try to explain stuff best I can. This is a Bible study, so we're going to study it. So in the first year, Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, I'm not sure if I get the names right. Oh, by the way, I don't know everything. The seed of the Medes, which was made king over the Roman Chaldeans. So in the first year of his reign, Daniel read and understood by the book of Jeremiah, the prophet. There's a book in the Bible called the book of Jeremiah. So, I've not so if you really want to know everything he's saying, or at least to better understand it, you have to read the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah is a big book, though. It's probably got like 66 chapters in it or something. Or maybe, I forget. But Jeremiah is a big book. And the whole reason... Okay, so don't let me get ahead of myself. The prophet, he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem. 70 years. So I forget what that means. Jerusalem would be desolate for 70 years. Was it 70 years or is it 490 years? I forget. 70 years. So, oh my gosh. Now, the angel Gabriel says 70 weeks are determined upon thy people. Now, these 70 weeks, each of these weeks is 7 years. That's just so you know, that's what it is. These weeks are 70 years, so it's 70 times 7. 7 times 7 is 49. This is 490 years to be determined upon thy people. Okay? So 490 years. I'd have to read the book of Jeremiah. I'm not going to do that. This Bible study I'm actually advancing this Bible study more and more. I only ever intended this Bible study just to be to me pick up the Bible and then talk about it, read it and then talk about it. But I've studied the Bible so much that some of the stuff I already know. So it's a lot easier to study it, and then just to give a little bit more effort, I can go a lot deeper. Anyway, never mind that. Book of Jeremiah, we're not going to go into it. Accomplished 70 years. I forget what that means, though. I forget. I forget. Now, the whole reason Daniel is praying to God and making supplication, he says he makes supplication. And something else, he says, I set my face unto the Lord God to seek by prayer and by supplications with fasting, sackcloth, and ashes. Supplication, you guys can't see that, but Bing, I'm using Bing, defines supplication as the action of asking or begging for something earnestly or humbly. Earnestly means with strong conviction. So entreaty, plea, appeal, petition, solicitation, exhortation, urge, prayer, invocation, suit, request, application, beseeching, begging, pleading, origin, and obsecration. Obsecration? So he's praying to God, which he's making supplication. He's like begging and pleading with God. With fasting, when you don't eat anything, you only drink water. And sackcloth and ashes. Lots of prophets and people in the Bible put on sackcloth and ashes. I still, to this day, don't even know what that means. I could look it up, but I don't want to. at the moment. I know it's a Bible study. I'm not opposed to looking it up, but I don't want to. They put on sackcloth and ashes, and I'm not sure what it means. Yo, Yaakov the learner. Shalom akum. I think, does shalom mean hello? Or peace be to you or something? Hello. I'm not sure what sackcloth and ashes means. Now, the whole reason... Yes, peace. Hey. I put a link to my Discord in the chat if you want to talk to me after the Bible study stream, where I'm only going from 1 to 2, unless it'll go a little over. After the Bible study stream, I'm going to be on Discord if you just want to talk to me directly. That would be fantastic. Now, as I was saying, the whole reason Daniel is praying in the first place is because, if you don't know, Jerusalem, Israel, the Jews, the Hebrews, God's people, they sin and rebel against God continually. They do it so much it makes you mad reading it in the Bible, and also God keeps forgiving them. Like, they would sin, and then they would be destroyed because of it, but then they would cry out to God, and then God would forgive them, and help them, and save them. And then they would be happy and rejoice in God for like 5 minutes, and then they would go and sin again against him, and worship other gods, and do all sorts of treachery, and sin, and wickedness, and unrighteousness. And then they would fall back into like captivity and destruction again. And then they'd cry out to God again. And then God would help them again. And forgive them and save them. And put them back on their feet again. And then they would rejoice with God for about 5 minutes, and then they went back to it. And this happens again and again and again. Again times like 50 million billion. It keeps happening so much that it makes you angry reading it. I guess that just shows that God is a patient God. He's patient. Whoa. Saying links invalid or expired. I have a YouTube channel. Want to do a collab? But slow down. Hang on. Is Judah, Israel, or are they separate? Whoa. Okay. Says the link is expired. That's always what I want to hear. Let me fix the link first. Alt-C. Okay. Link is expired. Create invite. Copy. Okay. The link to the Discord is in the chat, the actual chat. So it's in the actual chat. Now you can join me on Discord, but I won't hear you because I muted myself and made myself deaf. So you can join it, but I won't hear you or see you. Alt-X. This is the Discord. You can join it right here. I'm just waiting. It's live, so once you join it, you can start talking and everything, but I won't hear it and the people on stream won't hear it. But after the stream, I'll get onto it, and I'll still be streaming while I'm talking on Discord, and it'll be really fun and really cool. But that's that. Let me see here. Go back to this. Okay, let me see here. You say you have a YouTube channel, want to do a collab. You know what? That would be great. It would be great to do a collab. I'm just, I would love to do that, and that's a great thing. I'm just not consistent. But I would love to do it. Not opposed to it at all. I would love to do it. I'm just not consistent. Slow down, hang on. Is Judah Israel, or are they separate? Ooh. So is Judah Israel? Okay, so Israel is, oh my gosh. That question is kind of complicated. So, oh my gosh. Israel is a whole bunch of different things. Israel's a people. Israel is a person. Israel is we'll go with the nation part. Israel is one nation, but it's divided into northern and southern. There is northern, the northern part is just called Israel, and the southern part is called Judah. But it's all in the nation of Israel. So nation Israel, but in Israel, northern part of it is called Israel, and the southern part is called Judah. So, and also there's a guy named Israel, and also God's people. Uh, there's a guy named Jacob, who God named him Israel, and then he'd had 12 kids. He had more than that, but he had 12 of them, and God called them the 12 tribes of Israel. Then they made a nation. So it's actually it's I don't know. It's complicated. It's not confusing, but it is complicated. Okay. Were they separate at this point? Oh, no. They weren't separate at this point. At this point in time where Daniel is talking, they're in Babylon. Uh, Jerusalem, Israel has been taken over by the Babylonians. Um, so no, they're not separate. It's all under Babylonian control. It's basically Babylon, basically. They've been taken over by Babylon. Okay. See, yes, but were they deceived? Bingo. When God's talking about Israel, it's not Judah. Yes, his name's Yaakov. I'm Jewish. Well, that's awesome. Hello. That's awesome. A Jewish person. Cool. That's awesome. Maybe you can help me understand some of this stuff. I'm not Jewish. I just read the Bible a lot and watch a bunch of videos about it. So, did God not push just Israel to Babylonia, Judah, and Benjamin? Did God not push just Israel to Babylon, just Judah and Benjamin? I thought all of Israel was taken over by Babylon. Am I wrong? I'm not sure exactly, but I thought they were all taken over by Babylon. Hey, but I love that you're talking to me, but it'll be a lot easier for you to talk to me on Discord and not Judah and Benjamin, just Israel. So just northern Israel was taken over by Babylon, not Judah and Benjamin, not southern. Is that what you're saying? Hey, Dragon Ball Dave. Okay, well, if that's the case, then okay. Let me see here. So Daniel's praying to God. He's saying he's sorry for himself, his own sin, and also for the sin of his people, Israel, because they're all okay, brother. Yes, yeah, because they're wicked and they sin, and so he's praying, and he says he prayed. I don't want to read the prayer again because he's saying to God that we've sinned. That's all he's saying, which is an awesome prayer. I get teary-eyed reading it. But he's saying that we don't listen to you, God. Your righteousness belongs to you. Confusion belongs to us. We've sinned against thee. We've trespassed against thee. We are no good. We are all sinners. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law. None of us are good. We're all sinners. Not one of us are righteous. And that's why all this great evil has come upon us. None of us have obeyed the law of Moses. That's why all this is happening. Our God is righteous, but we're not. You brought us forth from Egypt with a mighty hand, but we're still wicked. God is righteous. God is good. Now, please, for the Lord's sake, please help your people, because we're your people. I mean, you made a covenant with us because we are your people, but we're wicked. So please help us. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not. Please help us. Okay. God divorced Israel, but not Judah. God divorced him? Well, when we get on Discord, you can tell me more about that. I did not know God divorced them at all. I thought they were God's people all the way through and through, despite the fact that they were wicked. And Daniel says, while I was praying, the man Gabriel. Hey, that's funny. It says the man Gabriel. Gabriel's an angel. And also he flies. So if anyone has curious, hey, does the Bible really teach that angels can fly? Well, it says here he flies. Being caused to fly swiftly touched me about the time of the evening oblation. What is the evening oblation? My Jewish friend in chat, what is the evening oblation? I'm not sure what that is. Is that like the evening offering? I'm not sure. And he informed me and told me, said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. In verse 23, at the beginning of thy supplication, the commandment came forth, and I am now come to show thee. Hey, this is also as important. If you need to pray, Christians, you need to pray kind of like you need to breathe. You need to pray because, like, you need to pray. God answers prayers. He listens to prayers, and sometimes God will want to do something for you, but then he will intentionally not and just wait for you to pray for it. And I don't know why he does this. I know one reason why he will do this is because if you're in a bad situation and then God helps you, and then you think it may have just coincidence, but if you prayed for it and then immediately it happened, then you're probably less likely to chalk it up as coincidence and then maybe pray some more and maybe obey God. God does like receiving credit for the stuff he does. Like, he's a jealous God, actually. He's a jealous God, and when he doesn't when you try to give the credit for the stuff he's done to others, it actually makes him mad. So pray to God, make your supplication, because he says, at the beginning of your prayer, your supplication, the commandment came forth, and I came to show thee, for you're greatly beloved, and now I'm going to give you understanding. Okay, now we're going to get into things that are amazing. Verses 24 to 27. In Daniel chapter 9, verses 2 and verses 24 to 27 is all the meat and potatoes of Daniel chapter 9. And you can spend a lot of time. Oh my gosh. I'll do what I can. Okay. Yaakov says, not only Jews walk are from Judah, aka Judah, or Yehudium, or Judah. Thumb up. No, that's bad. Oh dear. No, when you pray, don't babble on as the Gentiles do. They think their prayers are answered merely by repeating their words again and again. Correct, he is a jealous God in a good way. Yes, God is jealous in a good way. Yeah. You realize this is all Hebrew Bible doesn't refer to Gentiles, it's to Jews. Well, it's like so uh I know there are parts in the Bible that are just specifically to the Jews, but there are other parts in the Bible that apply to everyone. And then there are other people who believe that the Old Testament and the New Testament can be read by everyone and understood by everyone, and that really everyone ought to read the Bible, and that everyone ought to worship God, the Jews and the Gentiles, because we have one God who created us all. You don't have to do none of the Tanakh or Old Testament. Your is New Testament, aka Brit Hadisha. Yes, New Testament. Well, thank you for that. I'm not sure. It's so I'm a Christian. I believe that you should read the whole Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament. I know there's some stuff that only applies to Jews, like I think keeping the Sabbath only applies to Jews. But I know keeping the Passover would only apply to Jews, and a bunch of their traditions that the Bible teaches to do would only apply to the actual Jews. So I'm a Gentile. I'm a Christian Gentile. I get pretty much the easy way. I just have I'm saved just by grace through faith. Whereas the Jews, they're supposed to do all sorts of stuff. They're still only saved by grace through faith, like Abraham. Abraham was saved by grace through faith. Uh, yeah, of course. Oh, you could read it, but the rules, regulations are for us, brother. I know. A lot of the rules are just for the Jews. I can help you. I'm studying. I can help you. I'm a studying scholar. Well, thank you, Yakov. I studied Paul and so on. All Paul's teaching are to Gentiles. That's when you are grafted in. Yes. Man, we're gonna have a blast. I'm You're typing with an accent, so I wonder how this will sound on Discord. Okay, now, verse 24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon the holy city. These 70 weeks, each of these weeks is 7 years. But they are not consecutive. They are not 70 consecutive years. I think there's 69 consecutive years, and one of those weeks is the one that has not happened yet. We're going to talk about it. He says, read Romans 11. So 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon the holy city to finish the transgression. I'd have to look up each one of these things to really understand what they mean. I think finish the transgression means to, I forget. I think that's when Jesus dies on the cross for our sins. So there's 70 weeks, 490 years. Know therefore understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto Messiah the Prince, that's Jesus Christ, shall be 7 weeks. So there 7 weeks is there are 7 years. So 7 times 7 is 49 years. Right? So from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem unto Jesus Christ is going to be 49 years. Okay. I forget, there's another place in the Bible where there's two places in the Bible where it talks about giving the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem. And it was like in chapter 2, so it was like really close. Ugh. Where is my stuff? Oh dear. Daniel. Okay, I do have some notes. Chuck Missler says that Atrax gave commandment in March 14th, 445 BC, and he's going by the 360-day year, Jewish years. He believes that Atrax, Atrax is Artaxerxes Longimanus gave the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem in March 14th, 445 BC. He's going by the 360 day year, Jewish year, because the Jewish years only have 360 days. Ugh. And so for March 14th, 445 BC to April 6th, 32 AD. So it was believed that Jesus was crucified around 32 or 33 AD. Chuck Missler says 32 AD. I did the math, it does add up. Jeremiah 29:10 says that the Jews are in Babylon for 70 years. So I think so in Daniel chapter in Daniel 2:9-2 it says that he understood by the book of Daniel that God would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem. I believe wait, Jeremiah 29:10. Oh go. Okay. Jeremiah 29:10. Ooh, I should just do just 29 KJV. Oh, hey, can you guys see that pretty well? Maybe I zoom in for you. Maybe that'll help you. 29:10. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you, and causing you to return to this place." So Daniel says 70 years are going to be accomplished, and he says from the book of Jeremiah, it says here that they're going to be at Babylon for 70 years. That's what it says. Brother Yakov, you're saying so much stuff. You read Romans 11. He says, "I have a British accent. I'm a British Jew." Hello, British Jew. 5.5 days. Wait, 5.5 days is 5,500 years. So make the sum is easy. 5.5 days is 5,500 years. That's news to me. Read the 5 books of Adam and Eve, Jewish apocalyptic texts. You must read all Jewish or Hebrew books, then you will see. I see. I suppose, do you have um a positive opinion of the Talmud? Uh so there's that. Artaxerxes is the king of Persia. Cyrus king. Okay, Nehemiah chapter 2. Nehemiah chapter 2. Nehemiah, I don't know how to spell it. Nehemiah 2 KJV. Okay. And it came to pass in the month of Nisan, the car, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, the wine was before him, and I took the wine and gave it to the king. Now before time he was not sad. Why am I sad? Wait, what? Sent me to Judah. Where does it say it? Nehemiah chapter 2. Was it the 20th year of the reign of Artaxerxes gave command to rebuild the temple? It's Nehemiah chapter 2. Wait, Isaiah 44:28? Maybe it's Isaiah 44:28. Isaiah 44, wait. 44:28. Whoops. Just do 44 KJV. Verse 28. That saith of Cyrus, he is my shepherd and shall perform all my work, saying, even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple. That doesn't say when it happens. That saith of Cyrus, he is my shepherd and shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple thy foundation shall be laid. Ugh. That's not what I wanted. Where does it say in the Bible? So it says that, well, in Daniel chapter 9, that And understand from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem shall be 49 years until the Messiah, the Prince. Where does it say it? Is it Nehemiah? Okay, let's do Control F. Command. Commandment is 2 M's. Okay, here we go. Oh dear. What? Why is that? Why is it not working? It's not working. Okay, what the heck? That always works. It does not working. Kind of. And it came to pass. Okay, so this is who is this? Who is in the book of Nehemiah? Is it Nehemiah the prophet? So Nehemiah talks to the king. He says, "Why is your?" And he's all sad, and he's not been sad before. He says something. He says, "Send me to Judah, that I may send me to Judah unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it." And the king said, "How long?" And it pleased the king to send me. If it please the king, let letters be given to the governors. And a letter unto Ashas, the keeper of the king's forest, that he may give me timber to make beams for the gates of the palace, which appertain to the house, and for the wall of the city, and for the house shall I enter into it. And the king granted me according to the good hand of God upon me. So it says right here, so in verse 8, in Nehemiah chapter 2, that it came to pass in the month of Nisan, the 20th year of Artaxerxes king. Okay. So the king Artaxerxes, in the 20th year of his reign, in the month of Nisan, that he gave the commandment in verse 8 to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem. He gave Nehemiah permission to go to Jerusalem to start building it, build the wall of the city. So that's where it says it. I think that's all I want. I think that's all I wanted to show. Let me see here. Now he says, "Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks," which is 49 years. And like I said, Chuck Missler, he says that it was March 14th, 445 BC. And the years, he's going by the Jewish years, which are 360 days. Dragon Ball Dave says Abraham was not a Jew. The Yaakov say Abraham wasn't a Jew. He was a Sumerian Iraqi, I think. Dragon Ball Dave says correct. Ooh. Hey, Dragon Ball Dave, someone agrees with you. Amazing. The world is near its end, I believe. March 14th, 445 BC. Okay. So know therefore and understand from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense, right? Because 7 weeks, if he gave commandment in 445 BC, and these weeks are only not 7 years, that's only 49 years. So what the heck? How's that happening? So these weeks they're not consecutive, sort of. He says, and 62 weeks. Okay, so it separates them right here. It says shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. So a score is 20, so 60 is 60, and 2 weeks, so 62 weeks. So if you add them together, if you add these together, it says 7 weeks and 62 weeks. So that is 69 weeks. 69 times 7 is, I forget. Well, 70 times 7 is 490, so it'd be 463. 463 years. And so I got, so from 445 BC, okay, so it'd be 445 minus 463. That is the math. I need a calculator. 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 Okay, 445 BC minus 4, what is it? It'd be 463. 463 equals 18. What? Did I do something wrong? Um, okay, wait a second. It says, wait, what? I did something wrong. Okay, the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem. So this is verse 8. So verse 8 is when he gives the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem, and it's in uh the 20th year of this king's reign. So when does this king reign? So I believe his reign was I believe he started reigning in 465 BC. So it'd be minus 20 years before 45 BC. Did I do something wrong? So it'd be 445, and it's 69 times 7, which is 463, right? 69 times 7 equals 483. Okay, I'm wrong. My math is wrong. I don't know how to do math. I'm a dumb. I have no nothing. I don't know nothing. I know nothing at all. Okay, so 483. So it'd be 445 BC minus 483, because 483, that is 69 of the weeks. Each of the week is 7 years, so it's 69 times 7 is 483. You get 38. Okay. Now that's minus 30, that's 38 AD. You say, well, that is off. But these years are going by 360-day years. You see how fantastically complicated this is? They're going by 360-day years. So, okay. 70 weeks. Okay. So it'd be 483. Oh my gosh. Okay. How do I do this? It would be 483. I have 483. Okay. So the Jewish calendar years are 360-day years. So they're missing 5 days. So you do 483 times 5. That'll give you the missing days for each of these years. 483 years times the 5 days gives you all the missing days, which is 2,415. And then 2,415 divided by 365. That'll give me how many missing years there are, and it's 6.61643 years. I just rounded it to 6.62 years. So if you do 38, I'm going to do plus, so it minuses it. 6.6 year, wait, no, 6.2. 6.2. Can I go back? How do I go back? Is there a way to go back? Oh, there we go. That works. 6.2 years equals 31.8. Okay. And so that matches the date when Jesus Christ was crucified. This is supposed to represent about 32 AD. So I'm hoping you guys are still following me. I don't know if you are, but basic from the from the commandment to so it says from the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem, right here, unto Messiah the Prince is going to be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. That's 483 years, but these years are only 360 days long, so it's actually 483. And I've done the math, so it's actually 483 minus about 6.2 years. So 483 minus 6.2 years. Let me just do. Let me write that down. I don't know where to write that down. 483 minus 6.2 years. I'm afraid this is probably going to be very boring to watch, and I probably could have done this better, but it's a Bible study. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Um. Okay, so it'd be 483 minus 6.2 years would be four. Let me do the math. Okay, 4, 8. 483 minus 6.2 equals 476.8. So basically, we're gonna do 476.8 minus 445 BC equals that. Okay. So Chuck Missler says Artaxerxes the first of King of Persia, or maybe or King. Wait, what? Artaxerxes first, King of Persia. Cyrus second, King of Persia. And then Esther married him, I think, in 478 BC. I believe Esther married this king that we're talking about in Daniel chapter, or in the book in the book of Nehemiah. In the book of Nehemiah, this king, I believe, his wife is Esther. So that's cool. So verse 8. Wait, what? Where does it say the queen sitting by him? So Nehemiah says unto the king, I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldst send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him. So this queen is Esther. So I guess that's why the Bible hints at it right here. This is Esther. And she's a Jew. She's a Jewish. A Jewess? Is that even a thing? She's a Jew too. So maybe that's why the king was so receptive, because he already liked his servant, and his wife is a Jew, and so his servant is, hey, can I go rebuild our Jewish uh, city? And so maybe perhaps why that's why he's it's mentioning her here. And he's like, well, how long will the journey be, and when will thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set a time. Let letters be sent to the governors, and a letter was sent that he may give me timber and forests and timber to make the beams of the gates. So boom, that's so it all says it right here. It is here. It is here in the scriptures. I didn't just study this. I studied this a long time ago. I'm just and that's why I have a little notebook. Um I do have Isaiah 44:28, but I looked it up here. That saith of Cyrus, he is my shepherd, he shall perform my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple, thy foundation shall be laid. Hmm. I don't know how important that is or how necessary. I don't know. Nehemiah chapter 2 is the meat and potatoes. Right here, verse 8. It says, or actually verses 1 and 8, because 1 gives us verses, me and Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 1 and verse 8. Verse 1 gives us the date, and 8 says the commandment to go and to restore and to build Jerusalem. And then we have it that from the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem is actually going to be 476.8 years. It's supposed to be 483 years, but these are Jewish years, so they're 5 days. A Jewish year is only 360 days. They're 5 days less than a normal year. So it's actually 483 minus about 6.2, so it comes up to about 4.76.8. So 476.8 years until Messiah, the prince, is going to be killed. From the going forth of the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem is going to be 476.8 years, regular years, not Jewish years, regular years. Until Jesus, the Messiah, has come and then cut off. So that is what's going to happen. So is that good? Okay. So I think that's all good. Now, the whole reason this is significant is because the Bible tells us when Jesus is coming back. The first time. The first time. It actually tells us the second time as well. I'll get into that. Well, the second time, it doesn't say directly what the day he's coming back. It's not specific like it is here. Well, actually, kind of is. But this gives you like 483 Jewish years to prepare for it. Whereas when Jesus came to Jerusalem, he wept. And he says that you could have known that this day was the day I was coming, and that they didn't study the scripture, so they didn't know. Now, when Jesus comes back the second time, the Bible does say when he's coming back, but there's only a 7-year window. Like the Jews had 483 Jewish years, or 476 like years. We only have 7 because it says in it says in Matthew chapter 24 that that at the end of the tribulation period is when Jesus comes back. The tribulation period starts when the Antichrist makes a covenant with many. I'm supposing it's something to do with the Jewish people and the Jewish temple, because they had to rebuild the temple. He makes a covenant for 7 years. In the middle of the covenant, 3.5 years, he breaks the covenant, does the abomination of desolation in the Jewish temple. And then for the next 3.5 years is the Great Tribulation. And the Bible says immediately after the Great Tribulation is when Jesus comes back. So we only have a 7-year window. They had a 483 Jewish year window, and they didn't know he was coming back. So shame on them. Okay. So I think that's all good. So basically, this told us when Jesus was going to appear the first time, and so anyone who didn't know, they got no excuse. The Bible says it. And I am not the smartest, wisest person ever, and yet I was able to figure this stuff out. Chuck Missler helped, and he was able to figure out too. Okay, so where are we at now? So we're all good with that? So to finish the transgression, 70 weeks are determined upon thy people. 69 of these weeks has happened. The 7th week is that 7th week of Daniel, the 70th week of Daniel, is the Antichrist's covenant. His covenant is 7 years long. That has not happened yet. The Antichrist has not come yet. He's not done that yet. When the Antichrist comes and makes his covenant for 7 years, a 7-year treaty, this is what to look for. And if we're not sure who that is, anything concerning Israel and Jerusalem, especially them rebuilding their temple, to any Bible believer, this is like what to look for. Like we know, like we see the signs that maybe the end of the world is near, but there's really no sign to really look for except the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem. That's really the sign we're looking for. Once they rebuild that temple, the end of the world can happen. It doesn't mean it will, but it's likely. The end of the world can't happen until they rebuild that temple, because the Antichrist has to make an abomination in the temple. If there's no temple, then he can't make an abomination in it. So I want them to rebuild their temple. Fulfill this Bible prophecy. You punks, rebuild your temple. Hurry up. I think the Muslims put their temple, their church mosque thing in the wrong place. I think the temple goes more south or something. They go and pray to the Wailing Wall, and I heard that the Wailing Wall is actually not the temple wall. That's some Roman bunker wall. And there's another place where the temple is supposed to be, and they could make their temple right now today. But they've been praying at the Wailing. It's called the Wailing Wall because by tradition the Jews go and pray to this wall and wail against it because they're sad that their temple is destroyed. And they've been doing this for generations. And so if you go and tell them, hey, by the way, you guys have been doing this in vain for the past several decades, their pride will not let them hear it. So that's that. So 70 weeks, 490 years, Jewish years, to finish the transgression, which I believe is when Jesus said it is finished, his last words were it is finished. I think that's what this is referring to finish the transgression. And to make an end, or maybe it's not, I'm not sure. It says, and to make an end of sins. When Jesus died on the cross, all sins are blotted out for believers, so that's got to be what that means. And to make reconciliation for iniquity. Is this just saying the same thing several times? I thought they were different for each one. This is something you'd have to look up. I've seen some pastors talk about each of these things as if they were different things, but these all sound like the same thing to me. Make reconciliation for iniquity. Iniquity is sin. And to be reconciled is to be reconnected with and made well together again. Or reconcile your differences. And to bring in everlasting righteousness. I'd have to look up what each of these means. What matters is it tells us when Jesus comes back the first time. And to seal up the vision of prophecy and to anoint the most holy. To anoint the most holy. Has that happened yet? That hasn't happened yet, right? The most holy would be Jesus Christ. That hasn't happened yet, right? Or has it happened? So, we got 70 weeks. You know, there is one thing. Wait, no. Because it says, no. It says that it says, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem unto Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks, which is 69 weeks. Jewish week, these weeks are years. So in their Jewish year, so it's actually 470, 476 years. The street shall be built again, even the wall in troublous times. And then says, after 62 weeks, so 62 weeks, shall Messiah the Prince, Messiah be cut off. So it says the Messiah shall be killed. Now we know that's Jesus Christ. Now, the modern day Jews, they don't, when they believe when their Messiah comes that he's not going to die, he's going to come, fix the whole world, and we're going to live happily ever after. The Bible does not teach this. Daniel's Old Testament, this is to the Jews. Daniel's a Jew, this is all Jewish people talking about Jewish stuff. Daniel says the Messiah is going to come. He's going to be cut off. There's no place in the Bible, I'm pretty sure there's no place in the Bible cut off doesn't mean killed. It means he's going to be cut off. He's going to be killed. And it says, after 62 weeks. So there's still 8 weeks left. There's 7 weeks. So that's what I said. That shall be 7 weeks. 7 weeks and 62 weeks. That's 69 weeks. But they're not consecutive. And after 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off. So that's 62 weeks. The Messiah is going to come and be killed. But they're not consecutive. There's a 7-week gap in here, 49 years. There's a 49-year gap. But not for himself. And the people of the prince shall come and destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. Now this one's tricky. Man, but there's something I'm missing. There's something is missing. I don't know if we'll be able to get to Discord. I don't know, because I have to go to work at 4 p.m. I'll do my best. Man, I want to know what this... Okay. But not for... So the Messiah will be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince... The people of the prince... Now this one's kind of tricky, because the people of the... There was a prince that destroyed the temple. Who was it? Do I have it in my notes? Well, I thought I had it in my notes. Who was that? Who was that guy? The temple. Ooh. Babylon temple. The temple was destroyed. The Jewish temple was destroyed by Babylon, and then it was destroyed again by the Romans in 70 A.D. The Roman Empire destroyed the temple in 70 A.D. It was the emperor of the Roman Empire at the time was Vespasian, but his son is the one who actually destroyed the temple, Titus. So the prince, and so the people of the prince shall come and shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. That's the sanctuary, I believe, is the Jewish temple, and the city is Jerusalem. And that was in 70 AD. So after 62 weeks shall Messiah the prince be cut off, and not for himself, and the people of the prince shall come and shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. This is something I'd still have to study, because something's not adding up to me. So after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off. So it says 7 weeks and then 62 weeks. There's 69 weeks there, but the way I've done my math is, again, Chuck Missler said it was 445 BC, going by 360-day Jewish years, from 445 BC minus 476 years. It would be 483 years, but they're Jewish years, so they're actually 476 years. From 445 BC minus 476 gets you to about 32 AD, which matches when Jesus dies. So my question is, why does it say that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah Prince shall be 7 weeks? Why does it say 7 weeks? Why does it separate them? Does that matter? 7 weeks and 62 So it is 69 weeks. Why doesn't he just say 69 weeks? Why didn't it just say that? I don't know. Why? The street shall be built again, the wall, even in troublous times. It says after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself and the people. So 62 weeks. Maybe that's why it's 7 weeks and 62 weeks. So it's 7 weeks and then 62 weeks. But why does it separate them? Why does it separate them? I don't know. But if you do the math, you just do 69 weeks, which is 476 Jewish years, which is, yeah, 476 Jewish years. You know something? Is that last week of Daniel a Jewish year? I don't think that'll matter because it'd be 7 years. Actually, it would matter. Because if the last week of Daniel is in Jewish years, it would be 360. Oh my gosh. So it'd be 7 times 5 is 35. That's kind of important because at the end of the tribulation period is when Jesus comes back, and so there's a 35-day gap that could be interesting. Hey, if you're still in the YouTube and you're still watching, let me know in chat that you're still here. I think you're an amazing person. I know this has not been the most interesting thing, unless you're very interested. I think I'm ready to like move on though. I think we've done good. So it's 69 Jewish weeks. There's actually 70 Jewish weeks. 69 of these Jewish weeks shall Messiah be cut off. That's when Jesus comes back. He's killed. The people of the prince shall come and destroy the city and the sanctuary. Now here's the thing. The temple is destroyed in 70 AD. This part, the people of the prince shall come and destroy the city and the sanctuary, would not fit in this timeline. I'm just going to say it. It doesn't fit. So this must mean that, and the people of the prince shall come and destroy the city and the sanctuary, and then there shall be the flood, and unto the end of the war, desolation are determined. This must just be separate, because the Romans destroyed the temple again in 70 AD, but this event right here doesn't fit in that 69 weeks. It doesn't fit. I know the weeks are not consecutive, but this does not fit. As far as I can tell. No, because it doesn't fit. So I'm thinking that there are people who have said that this prince is the Antichrist. That seems to be the only way this fits. And the people of the prince, as in the Antichrist, shall come and destroy the city and the sanctuary. So I believe that after the Jews rebuild the temple again, it's going to be destroyed again, and then there's going to be a flood. Now, when they said they destroyed the temple in 70 AD, there was no flood. Now a flood could just mean a flood of water. Maybe it means a flood of something else. Supposing it's a flood of water, and unto the end of the war, desolations are determined. And to end the war. Which war? What war? I'm not sure. And the people of the prince shall come and shall destroy the city. Hey, Dragon Ball Dave. Thank you for being a pro. So, well, I'm just gonna go with something. I think the people of the prince. I think this is the Antichrist. I think, because I'm not sure. But then verse 27, it's completely separate. It's completely separate. This is the 70th week of Daniel. Verse 27 talks about the 70th week of Daniel. The weeks are not consecutive. This week has not happened yet. All these other weeks have happened. 69 of these 70 weeks have happened. This 70th week has not happened yet. And he is the Antichrist. There's no other person this fits for. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even to the consummation. And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So we're going to go to Matthew chapter 24. This will help. Matthew chapter 24. Okay. Jesus says. Okay, so to give context, in Matthew chapter 24, the disciples asked Jesus, his disciples said, hey, how are you? They said, hey, look at the temple. The temple's amazing, right? Jesus said it's going to be destroyed. And then as he sat down on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? So this is the context for Matthew chapter 24. And Jesus answered, watch Adam Brazell's Bible study. He will tell you. He said all sorts of things, wars, rumors of wars. Everyone's going to hate each other. This gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, then, so the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, we're in the book of Daniel right now. No one is in Twitter, or not Twitter, Discord. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. One of them were tired. There's going to be great tribulation. Except those days should be shortened, no flesh should be saved. If they say Christ is here or there, don't believe it. When the lightning shines, immediately after the tribulation is when Jesus comes back. There's the rapture. That day of the hour knoweth no man, unless you watch my Bible study. Then there's a 7-year window. Rapture. Okay, when I come back, if you did not know I was coming, I'm gonna cut you asunder, because you should have watched Adam's Bible study. Okay, he shall. So we're in Daniel chapter 9. Daniel has 12 chapters. In chapters 10, 11, 12, it also talks about stuff concerning this. So it's more stuff to study. Yay. Gives me stuff to do. I don't have enough to do. I need more. Yay. Study isn't awareness of the soul, like the Bible says. It's a contradiction. It's wrong. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. This is the Antichrist. The Antichrist is going to make a covenant with many for 1 week. It has to be something to do with the Jews and Israel and the temple. And in the midst of the week, 3.5 years, he's going to cause a sacrifice and oblation to cease. The Jews are going to make their temple, make their regular daily sacrifices in their temple. The Antichrist is going to come, like during it, and he's going to do some overspreading of abominations. I don't know what that means. Some people say he's going to sacrifice a pig on the altar. Some people think he's going to make AI. Maybe he's going to make an AI, like an AI robot. Perhaps the devil or the Antichrist is going to give us artificial life. He's going to give us AI, artificial intelligence. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Or perhaps he's just going to go in the temple and say, hey, bow down and worship me, I'm God. I'm not sure. But he's going to go in the temple, do some abomination, and then make the temple desolate. even until the consummation that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So that's. Am I missing anything? Probably. So 70 weeks are determined upon thy people. These are 70. These weeks are years. These weeks are Jewish years. So 70. So 470. They're each week is each week is 7 years, and they're Jewish years. So 70 weeks is 490 Jewish years. A Jewish year is 360 days, not 365. So in regular years, it would be about 476 years. So about 476 years are determined upon your people. From the going forth of the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem is when Jesus comes back and is killed. It'll be from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem is going to be 69 weeks. So it'll be 7 and 62 weeks, 69 Jewish weeks, or say 69 weeks. Each week is 7 years, and they're Jewish years. And it comes out to 476 years. And that's when Jesus comes back the first time. He's going to be cut off. Some Jews think the Messiah is not going to die, but the Bible says he is. But not for himself. He didn't die for himself. He died for our sins. The people of the prince shall come. And I guess these last two, half of verse 26 and verse 27, I'm guessing that this has got dog. I don't think this has happened yet. I don't think the people of the prince. I think that's the Antichrist. That's what other people have said. It must be because they said there was no flood. Other people who have studied this said there was no flood when the Jews or the Romans destroyed the temple in 70 AD. They said there was no flood. The Bible talks about in Revelation there's going to be like a flood of blood. Not really a flood of blood, but there's going to be a whole bunch of blood. And the blood goes up to the horses' bridles, which is about 4 to 6 feet. We'll say 4 feet. I think probably 4 feet. A whole bunch of blood, about 4 feet deep. It's going to flood the area. The great wine press of the wrath of God. It's going to smash a bunch of people, turn them into grape juice. I don't. So this has not happened yet. I think this half part of verse 26 and then verse 27, it just hasn't happened yet. The people of the prince, I believe, is the Antichrist. They're going to come and destroy the city and sanctuary. So I believe they're going to rebuild the temple a third time, and it's going to be destroyed again. The end thereof is going to be with a bloody flood. That's what I think. And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined. And he, being the Antichrist, shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. That is 7 years. But this might be Jewish years. So it might be 7 years minus 35 days. And it's actually a whole month, actually. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations, he's going to do so. The Jews' temple, make it desolate. Some abomination. Okay, so I think that's it. Because Daniel's chapters 10, 11, 12 will also talk about some of the stuff, but I think we did good. Stuff that I've not really touched on. Someone did, like, they talked about each of these things. That there's a finish of transgression to make an end of sins, make reconciliation for iniquity, bring in everlasting righteousness. And some guy divided a thing where he had a specific point for each one of these things. I forgot what they all were. They all sound the same to me. They're probably not. I don't know. But I think we're good. I think we're done for today. I think we did good. So now I'm going to go to Discord. And if anyone in chat, if my Jewish buddy is still here, he probably is not. It was kind of tedious. Tedious Bible study, but I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. That's what I wanted to do. and I will put a summary in the chat. But if anyone wants to join me on Discord and just talk about anything that we talked about, or if you just want to tell me how your day was, I'm not picky. You can do that. Control V. Oh. Okay, also, be sure to like the stream, please. So, I'm in Discord. If nobody joins in the next, I give it 2 minutes because I don't think anyone's going to join. I give you 1 minute. I give you 2 seconds. I give you a minute. If no one joins, then that will conclude the Bible study for today. I will put a summary in the chat. I've not been doing that. That is definitely appropriate, like to do, to put a summary in the chat. We did good. I'm pleased. I'm happy. We did good. If anyone wants to talk to me on Discord, please join. If not, then thank you all for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and have a good rest of your day. I'm waiting to see if anyone will join Discord. No one is joining Discord. That is okay. So we are done. We did good. I'm pleased with it. I am pleased with the chat. I am pleased with how it all turned out. I'm going to see if my Yakov, my Jewish buddy, see if he wants to do like a collab or something. Okay, goodbye. Have a good rest of your day.